Okay, so I'm going to begin here, and I just want to really send my love, my blessings out to you all. And I just can feel this tremendous love coming through of the really strong energy of Mother Mary here, Christ energy, the Pleiadians. And they just want to acknowledge each one of you and the role that each one of you is playing right now on this earth plane, a very important, essential role of just being, being your human self and opening into the alignments, the beautiful essence of the new alignments that came onto the planet. Actually, they started to come on the 21st of December at the grand conjunction with Saturn and Jupiter on the 21st. And that's where, for the first time in 200 years, Saturn and Jupiter came so close to each other that they appeared as one light in the night sky, just one light. It was like a new light was birthed on the earth plane at that moment, and that was the heralding in of the beginning of the age of Aquarius, which will be with us for the next 2,000 years. So we have lots of time, everyone, to really be able to work with this incredible new birthing. This new framework birthed on Earth, a new order of light was established on Earth at that time as the age of Aquarius was heralded in. We've left the Piscean age behind, which is really like I think. And the Aquarius age is I know. And that brings so much emotion up because the knowing through our own hearts, rather than coming from the ego mind of I think and trying to work things out from that arena of the ego mind, is incredible, because this new framework that as birthed on Earth, that's created this new order of light on Earth, is also creating a new order of light within you, within your own heart, within your DNA. This framework is running right through the earth plane, but also running through our own crystalline structure within our hearts, within our DNA. And this new order of light, which is the framework, is actively guiding us to a higher flow of ourselves. And so this time, even how it may appear on a third dimensional level through the ego mind's misperception of what's actually taking place, and all of the chaos and the unknown, a lot of unknown here. The Pleiadians say celebrate the unknown, because the unknown is really the new way coming, the Aquarius age, opening up this framework, opening up through us, taking us into unfamiliar territory on one level, but moving us into a new alignment to the sacred that we are, and bringing us a power. It's like a new power is opening up to us as individuals, giving us the freedom to choose to activate our own reality through the power of ourselves, through the power of our hearts, through the power of love. And this is our role. We as human beings are the only ones who can consciously create a higher balance of consciousness here on Earth. It was always going to be us. We have, yes, the spiritual realms, the Pleiadians, all the galactic community around us, the natural forces setting up and holding energetic grids and frameworks for us in order to birth at this time. But it's us, those of us in human form, that will create this higher balance of consciousness on Earth through consciously choosing our hearts, consciously choosing our way home. And the conscious breath, which, You know, I've talked to many of you before, that conscious breath in and out the mouth that says, yes, I'm willing to let go. Yes, I'm willing to receive my light, has a higher potential now than ever before, because you are connecting to a vast multidimensional framework within your own hearts. It's that your creation energy, consciously choosing and working with your own power through the vastness of your heart, reaching for the heart space, and rather just witnessing the ego mind at its misperception, its analysis of what's going on in this third dimensional reality right now. It's perpetuating misunderstanding, misperception, fear of the unknown, fear of, you know, of what if this happens, what if that happens. You know, it's like creating this scenario based on total illusion. And it cannot perceive or understand anything that isn't within drama, within that misperception of what's taking place here on the earth plane. Our earth plane, this destiny, this is a time, a destined time when the heralding in of the age of Aquarius comes in, where we start to move into a new frequency of the sacred that we are. This is your time in the midst of all the unknown chaos of third dimension, to reach in within yourselves, within your own heart, to come home, to actively choose, to actively engage with a new aspect of your own power, your own love, your own light, and work with that in your day-to-day living. And just simply let go. Just let go as a human being. Letting go of the old belief systems, the misperceptions of what the ego mind is showing you or telling you. It's about reaching for truth, this other form of reality that coexists with the illusion that you can link into by conscious choice. It's a simple process of just entering and starting to engage with that other part of your natural makeup. Yes, we have our humanity, but we also have, as part of our makeup, our higher self, our sacred nature, that is closer and more accessible than ever before with this new framework that has birthed within this age of Aquarius, which is going to, as I said, last for 2,000 years at plus. So a door has opened, has opened for each one of us to choose differently. And that's about not choosing every moment of your life differently, because the ego mind will say, okay, we'll do it all differently. We can't do that. As a human being, we are perfectly imperfect. We will always have our human experience. That's what we came to do, to have our human experience and to awaken into our higher self. Not to push the ego mind away, but to engage with the ego mind in a very different way than ever before, than you ever have. It's about allowing yourself to witness the ego mind, to understand it has roles to play in your life, organizing your life, but not running your life, not running the agenda of fear, of struggle, of suffering. It's about witnessing your life as a journey up to this point as a human being, and really celebrating that journey of your humanity, your perfectly imperfect path. Really opening up to what you have done, how you have lived, the experiences you've had as a human being right to this moment of time. To really examine that life and celebrate the courage you've had to live that life. Like the ego mind wants to judge your every movement, your choices, the directions you chose, the things you did, the things you didn't do. The ego mind wants to keep you busy in that self-judgment of your humanity. And yet the Pleiadians in the spiritual realm celebrate you in the courage you've had, the courage we have all had to live our experiences, one not more than another. Just being human. And being human is about, that imperfection, the idiosyncrasies of who you are, who I am within our humanity. And it's glorious. We are glorious in that imperfection and not trying to change it, not trying to change yourself, just simply self-acceptance of those idiosyncrasies. And while you open up and allow yourself to really examine your journey and celebrate your journey, the places where you feel guilty about your life or shame because you are having a human experience, let go of the shame, of the guilt, knowing you've done the best you could at each moment of time. And just take a conscious breath and just let go. Letting go of that old story of self-condemnation, of not being able to do it perfectly in your human experience. The perfection's impossible in our humanity. And holding ourselves in our human aspect with love and compassion and a tremendous amount of patience. This is part of our enlightenment process, especially at this time during the pandemic, all the unrest in the country, the political upheaval. It doesn't matter who you, are connected to, who you support in that political arena. The arena is in turmoil. It's in a crisis. And it's okay because it's being played out in alignment with the energy that's coming in. It's been coming in since COVID was activated on our earth plane. Around February, it came into our awareness. But at that same time, light came in to really support us in moving into another alignment to the sacred that we are. So we have all that human feeling. And it's important to examine yourself and your journey of your life and how much suffering. We have all suffered one way or another, one not more than another. Suffering is suffering. It's part of the human dynamic. But when you choose to open up to your humanness on another level, with in a place of celebration, not self-condemnation, but celebration for your past, celebration for your life, celebration for your experiences. You can't judge good or bad. They're all just experiences, one not more than the other. But part of that enlightenment process is self-acceptance of your journey, of that which you have co-created. You created the scenarios in order to learn and have your experiences. You can't make them wrong. You can't make yourself a victim either, because you have participated fully in your experiences. And this is the time to really look at this in truth, the truth of your journey. not with the ego mind's misperception and misunderstanding of events, but the truth of your courage to have lived this journey, lived your story, but you're not your story. It's just part of your human experience. Let's take a conscious breath right now, in and out the mouth, and just let go. And with the new energetic framework on earth, this conscious breath is more potent than ever before. And it says, yes, I'm willing to let go. That means letting go of the self-judgment, the shame, the guilt, the struggle. Because the misperception of the ego mind is the struggle. And yet through the heart, you can align into and embrace the unknown and open into a new sense of flow of your own light and be the creator. Use your power to create what it is you need for yourself in this moment and let go and trust. You can leave that struggle behind. Allow it to shed away from you if you choose to. Or maybe you choose to stay in the suffering, in the separation of the misperception of that ego mind, that illusion that we've lived for lifetimes. You can let go if you choose. And maybe it doesn't mean you let go all the time, doesn't mean you have moments of, you don't have moments of fear or of feeling struggle. But those moments become less and less as you choose differently. As you choose to come home to your own heart, where that self-resurrection, the love from your heart can be extended into your humanity, into that human part, that imperfectly imperfect part of yourself that is afraid, that feels like it's isolated and alone and afraid of the unknown. But within the unknown is this unlimited potential of your own sacred nature, of the energy of this new order of light, opening the power of yourself within your hearts, bringing you to a new freedom of choosing a new reality, a new framework, a new base for yourself in your life, and building on that base of that sacred that you are. It's really about witnessing, looking really carefully at your human journey and all the stories you have about yourself, all those judgments, all the condemnation, where in reality you've done the very best you could in each moment. And there's nothing really to judge. There's only the celebration of what you have allowed yourself to receive and experience as a human being. That's one big component of yourself. And then the other component is your higher self that is fully intact just beyond the veil, waiting to interact and come into your life in a very different way. This is the time, the age of Aquarius. It's about you choosing to engage with this multidimensional aspect of the sacred of your higher self and bringing that actively into your life now. This is the time to start engaging with that. And the lie has been, we have to, in order to become enlightened, to align to our higher selves, we have to be perfect as a human being, to achieve perfection. And it doesn't matter how hard you try, it's impossible. We always lose it. We get angry, we make mistakes, we can't get it right. We can't be perfect in our humanity. So Let go of the need for that perfection in your human self. It's like liberating yourself, knowing you're going to continue to make mistakes, that you don't have to do it perfectly in order to align to your higher self. That was always a lie, a big misperception that was put out across the world. And it doesn't matter how hard you try. You can't get it right, do it perfectly. So it's about celebrating your imperfection, witnessing your imperfection, taking a breath, letting go, laughing at yourself, witnessing that imperfection and holding your humanity with love and compassion for all that you have been through in your human state. This is your time to liberate yourself. Christ has said the self-resurrection, that energy of self-resurrection, which I came in contact with Jesus Christ at the Sea of Galilee years ago now. I was standing on that shore at the Sea of Galilee, and Christ was walking across the water towards me. That was a life-changing event. Because when he came to me, the love was overwhelming. I can still feel it in me. It's in my cells, that love. And with that love, one would expect sweet words coming from him. But he said, when are you going to take yourself off the cross? When are you going to resurrect yourself? You came here this lifetime to resurrect yourself. You put yourself on the cross and you're the only one who can take yourself down. And I would say to everyone out there, look at where you are still condemning yourself. Because when Jesus Christ said that to me, I understood how much I was still holding against myself. The self-judgment, the self-condemnation. Right down to being a little girl in the cult and blaming myself for everything I took part in. Not that I had any say in what went on, but I condemned myself for that. And from that day on, I started to take myself off that cross. Every one of us must be a witness to ourselves. To witness how we're still holding on to remnants of the past. How maybe we feel betrayed, we're still play victim, and yet we have played our role out fully in our lives, in our humanity, with other human beings on a stage. Everyone playing their role fully out to bring the right experiences that we need for our unfoldment, for our understanding. It's about a shedding right now, a shedding of the old. As we take a conscious breath and let go, we can allow that shedding just to fall away from us. With the new framework of light, there is the possibility and the potential for us to really set ourselves free from the old belief systems, the old pain, struggle, betrayal, and that self-condemnation, most importantly. This is the resurrection process. And the Pleiadians say we will be successful in a full resurrection process, moving us into our enlightenment this lifetime. And like no other time, we enter that age of Aquarius, this new beginning for the earth plane, a new beginning for each one of us in our potential. And that sacred component of our higher self that's just beyond the veil, we can reach for that through our heart space, through the hearts. You can reclaim this new frequency within your heart that is anchored, this new framework, this pure energy which is anchored through our hearts, connected to this framework, this new order of light. We are part of that new order of light. Each one of us holds a sacred component of that new order of light that anchored at the time of the grand conjunction, the 21st of December, and then accelerated into the new year. So the launching has happened. Now it's about each one of us interacting with that frequency within our hearts of this new order of light, your own unique divine frequency that is radiating out in a very different way, activated through the DNA strands. We have been repositioned, and this is actively guiding us to the higher flow of ourselves through the DNA and the heart. So, simultaneous to working with your humanity and allowing the shedding, and really honestly looking at the truth of yourself in your humanity and those judgments. Simultaneous to that, you can reach into your heart and start aligning to that sacred part of yourself, which is as big a component as our humanity is. Our sacred self is larger. And we start to utilize that sacred component now in our lives to create, to consciously choose, to realign to that creation element that we are within our higher selves. And that is connecting into the heart space. The heart, our hearts are our multidimensional tool. Huge, expands well beyond our physical body. And each one of you is being called forward now to align through our hearts to that sacred component, that sacred element, that higher order of light and truth that exists. So whatever's going on in your life right now, and I know there's a lot of hardship, I know there's a lot of stress and trauma about the COVID, about its mutations, about trying to get a COVID vaccine. There's so many energies, they're not knowing. As you link into your heart and take ownership of yourself from that multidimensional perspective and let go, you can consciously choose to align to that element of truth that exists. That is the space where you start to open to knowing, knowledge and understanding of yourself in your life right now. That higher self component brings the understanding, the clarity, and opens doorways for you to create, for you to consciously choose to create in your life now through your heart, through that multidimensional component of this new order of light that you are. You are the order of light. Remember, as we activate in the heart, as a human being, we start to consciously create a higher balance of consciousness on earth between us. And we have said yes to this journey, those of us who are awake and on the path. There are many who are not, but we have said yes. We may have forgotten the pre-agreement to do that, but we have said yes to actively engaging within our multidimensional hearts and to launch this essence of and create this higher balance of consciousness of earth between us for humanity now. That is really the aspect of what we're dealing with here. And each moment you choose to engage through your heart, to reconnect to that multidimensional component of your light and just let go. It's about not doing it perfectly, but taking moments of just consciously reestablishing your connection to your multidimensional self. Not trying, but being. And bringing the essence of yourself and allowing it to anchor into your day-to-day living now. Bringing the sacred component of your higher order of light into your life now, day-to-day living. Starting your day, even before you even get out of bed, you can place your hands on your heart, bring your awareness into your heart, and just take a conscious breath and let go and say, this is my heart. I am. When you bring your awareness to where your hands, your palms are on your full chest area and feel the warmth or the pressure of your hands, and take that breath, that conscious breath, like a soft wind through the heart cells, your heart begins to respond. It's waiting for you. And as you use the conscious breath and let go, you align deeper into this multidimensional realm of your heart, your higher self. Each conscious breath, you let go, which aligns you deeper. It's claiming ownership of your sacredness, entering and opening into this higher order of life that you are within your higher self. It's about letting go and choosing differently. As you open your heart and bring in the words, I am, those words are sacred. It's saying, I am my heart. I am my higher self. I claim myself now. And you start to anchor and set in motion a wave of light out into your world, your day-to-day living. That energy, that essence opens doorways in your life for creating that which you need for yourself now. As you open into your heart, there's a shedding of the density of the old belief systems. They simply just fall away from you. It's like the old structures are ready just to crumble away. But no one can do this for you but yourself. This is free will. We said we would do this now, together. That we make the difference because we activate this unique divine structure that each one of us has, very individual. It's a divine signature of light that you are. And collectively, our unique divine signatures can join, creating these sacred patterns through our hearts that anchor through earth. That is our role right now. We create this higher balance of consciousness on earth by individually and then collectively coming together to take ownership of the sacred that we are and allow that framework to build balance here on earth during this chaos. The chaos is also part of the transmutation of earth. It has to play out. And there are some human beings that are totally engaged in that chaos. There's nothing wrong with that. They're having their experience. They've said yes to being here on the earth plane at this time to play that out. You can't judge it. They're not wrong. They're having their experience. And at the moment, they need this human experience of the drama. But we do not. If you need moments of it, that's fine. But ultimately, we need to come back to the balance and truth, to knowing and knowledge, to our own power within our own hearts. This is the self-liberation, the self-resurrection that Jesus Christ is talking about. And we, we're not alone, but we in physical bodies, we human beings are the only ones that can activate this wave, this new wave of consciousness across the planet for the Aquarian age. We begin this wave. Each one of us, in one moment of connecting into your heart, you join that wave. You create that higher balance of consciousness. And each moment is really, they come together, the moments build. It's accumulating the sacred light that you are. And what you're going to find is this energy will accelerate and magnify much faster within this new framework of the age of Aquarius, this frequency. And it's going to really allow a building of a new component in your day-to-day living. But when you feel the struggle, take a conscious breath, come into your heart, understanding that's the misperception of the ego mind. When you feel the fear, take a conscious breath, understanding it's the misperception of the ego mind. The ego mind understands nothing but the drama, the illusion of this life. But the heart knows the vastness of your unlimited potential. And as you open to it, it's like opening a door, allowing that higher frequency, that knowing to come into your life, bringing understanding to you, clarity, where you may feel the ego mind will be thinking about it and going into, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's in confusion. There's no way out. And you go into your heart, and the heart comes up with the answers of what it is, the simple solution to what is going on to support you in your life now. It's interesting how we stay away from the heart. It's like a bad habit, going up to the ego mind. We've lived up there for so long, but it's about bringing the energy. We've got this huge muscle in our ego mind because we use it so often. And then we bring our awareness and energy down into our heart and start building the muscle to the sacred, to that higher self within the multidimensional heart. There's tremendous number of energetic tools waiting for you to utilize. They're sacred tools. It's like returning to yourself, returning home to that sacred component that you are. And as you take that conscious breath and let go into your heart, you're saying, yes, I'm willing to let go. It's like letting go of the illusion. And yes, I'm willing to receive my light. You build the reconnection, reunion, a pathway home that you can utilize now in that day-to-day living. Let's take one more conscious breath and let go. Ashata inea. Eshe-o, meshe-o. Maybe even place a hand on your heart and just feel the warmth or the pressure of your hand. And claim that space of your heart. It's physically in our bodies, but on a multidimensional level, it's enormous, it's huge. It's vast, and it connects you into that God consciousness state of the oneness, that collective light of love that runs right through this resident universe. It's like re-establishing your place on that huge mandala of light. Each one of us has a unique component within that mandala. And as we align to our hearts, it opens up, it gets lit up, that mandala. This is the time for each one of us to naturally realign. It's all natural reconnection, reunion, realignment. There's nothing to learn. It's about returning to that which initially is unfamiliar, unknown, but quickly it becomes incredibly familiar. And you hold and build the power within your heart to draw from in your day-to-day living for creating your heart's desire. This is the time for the returning in the age of Aquarius. And it's essential that many of us connect right now to anchor this higher balance of consciousness on earth. Moment by moment, step by step. Not trying to do it all at once, but actively, consciously moving into your enlightenment process now. And that involves investigating your human aspect and how taking yourself off the cross, exploring where you're holding things against yourself, and can you let that go now? And maybe you can, maybe you can't. It's not about doing it perfectly, but it's about first just, investigating and seeing where it is, what areas you're still holding on to. Because if you play a victim, if you hold yourself in a victim role, well, you play out that which is illusion. Being a victim is illusion. That's saying I don't take responsibility for playing my role in anything. And instead, it's like, okay, I was a player on that stage. I had pre-agreements, maybe with your family here on this earth plane. That play out between family members, intense. But I played my role out perfectly. My parents played their role out perfectly. My siblings played their role out perfectly. Everyone played out their role perfectly. And I take full responsibility for what I chose to take on from that dynamic. And then I take a breath and let go into that. And what are my feelings still? What part of me wants to hold on to that betrayal or that pain? What part of me still wants to hold on to the shame or the guilt? Instead of just letting go, because there are no wrong choices, no wrong decisions. Everything's perfectly created for the play out between yourself and others. It's about changing the vibration of the patterning, of the structure of that network of illusion that you've placed around yourself. No one else has done that. You've been the one to place that cage around yourself, to put yourself in that prison. You're the one that's placed yourself up on the cross. You're the only one who can take yourself off the cross. And I know for myself, I worked after that sacred meeting with Jesus Christ. I made lists of what I was holding up against myself, and I looked at the truth of things. And one day my cross was just burning. This self-liberation aspect is so important to do simultaneous to the realignment to the sacred. Because the love that comes through as you align into your heart to that higher self, that compassion and love flows to your human component. And that human part heals in the nourishment of the love. Our natural makeup in our higher self is love. And the first thing to do is to bring that love, not to others, but to ourselves. We need the love from ourselves. That self-acceptance of our idiosyncrasies is self-love. That is the enlightenment process on one level. And then the other component of that higher self energy is the awakening of our own multidimensionality, of the love that we are, of truth, of knowing, and beginning to activate that in our world as creators and bringing that light forward and stepping on our path, building the pathway home to our sacred, which starts to embody through every cell in our body, through our crystalline structure, so that we are carrying the full essence of our brilliance of our light in this physical body. We can carry the vastness of the mastery that we are in ourselves because of the crystalline structure that came in on 11-11-11, was activated 12-12-12. We have the structure in place to be able to carry all our brilliance in this physical form and return to that sacred component that we are. And at the same time, we have our humanity changing our relationship to our own human component and are actively, consciously engaged with our higher selves in this physical body. That is our mission, our ultimate mission here in this lifetime. And the Pleiadians say this is going to take place. And this Aquarian age is going to just flood the space of our hearts. It's already begun, but it makes it much more easier for us to transform and self-resurrect at this time. And understand the age of Aquarius, we've had the Piscean age, we've moved into the age of Aquarius. Regardless of what sign you are astrologically, the age of Aquarius affects all signs equally. This is for all of humanity and the transformation and transmutation of the consciousness of Earth. So essential. And I want to talk a little bit about the energy of the COVID vaccine, because I know there is a lot of, a lot of people really worrying about the vaccine. There's talk about it having a corrupt element within the DNA. We brought out the information. We have a patenting that we're going to release for humanity that will shift that corruption that the COVID vaccine has on the physical body, that it will actually break down that corruption within the DNA. And they're bringing it out as a gift to each one of you. It's free. It's in our free resources on our website. It's up now for everybody to work with, and all the directions are there. But this is a gift from the Pleiadians to each one of us. So you can really let go and not be in that ego mind turmoil about taking the vaccine or not taking the vaccine. I also want to say that the patenting they put out last March to protect you from the COVID is still valid. And it's also valid for any of the mutations that are taking place within the COVID vaccine. That was also a free resource. So that's still available on our website with the COVID vaccine patenting. And I just know that I'm talking about we, those of us on the path, every one of you out there are playing a pivotal role. Even though your ego mind may minimize what sort of role you can play, you carry the sacred component consciousness for Earth within you. And you have said yes to participating at this time. One of us, we are neither, I'm not saying this very well, let me start again. One of us is not more than another. We all carry an equal part of this combined light. It will strongly impact collectively us holding a higher balance of consciousness and stabilizing it on Earth at this time through this chaos. It's about letting go and trusting, and you can trust that everything is in hand, and you, each one of us, is being held as we go through this rebirth process of reconnection through our heart space, as we go through this self-resurrection of our humanity. There is nothing more important than this right now. And I just want to hold all of you out there in that sacred love, in the sacred light of who we are within our own God consciousness state. It's about coming together, even from a distance. Energetically, we can forge connection. We can build our community light between our hearts and allow this unfolding of the sacred that we are. The Pleiadians are supporting us. The spiritual realms are here. The pre-agreements are here. You have pre-agreements that you can activate through your heart of your family of light off planet that are here to support you in this reconnection and rebirthing process of yourself. Just want to hold each one of you with love and support. I'm just going to open up just a little bit of energy right now for you to bring it into your heart. Let's celebrate becoming. Celebrate the light that we are. Allow this new beginning through your heart. Open up and celebrate yourself. Ashata ine a ashe o meshe o meshe o. And I wish to honor each one of you and all that you are in this moment. So be it. Thank you, everybody. Blessings.